Talking with former Attorney General Rob McKenna. Rob, it comes out that there are some deputy prosecutors in the office of Pierce County Prosecutor Mark Lindquist who have become whistleblowers. They've accused him of various things, including being an overzealous prosecutor, manipulating the media, creating what I guess I would describe as a negative atmosphere in the office. And now there is a recall petition that's being considered. First of all, from what you know about this case, is there something substantial here?
What's substantial is the whistleblower complaints themselves. So I have not become personally familiar with those, but the fact that a number of deputy prosecuting attorneys have taken the time to file detailed whistleblower complaints is really striking, and I can't think of another example like this from across the state. So it's a very serious matter, and it comes on top of an expensive court case that the prosecutor has been waging to keep public records out of the public's hands in connection with his personal cell phone. Apparently, he's been using his personal cell phone to conduct county business, and he's been litigating the question of whether or not he has to turn over records that are on his personal phone. So that this is sort of a series of compounding problems for Prosecutor Lindquist.
He has contended that this involves people who didn't get the promotions they thought they deserved, and essentially it's payback. So how do we go about ironing out who's right and who's wrong in a case like this?
There is an attorney who's been hired who's investigating the complaints. And in the interest of full disclosure, I have a colleague at my law firm who's advising the county on that investigation, as that other attorney actually conducts the investigation. But you let that process carry forward, and the prosecutor is given every chance to respond to the detailed complaints that have been filed. I know that the county council is taking it very, very seriously, and the fact that what started out as one complaint has multiplied into several complaints only heightens their interest and their concern.
This is a rare thing. It sounds like you're a little surprised that something like this would even happen.
It's pretty stunning, actually. It's not unprecedented. You know, you have whistleblower complaints filed against elected officials from time to time throughout the state, local government, state government. And there are fights that break out inside prosecuting attorneys' offices, people complaining about their boss. But this number of complaints in such a large and prominent county with a prosecuting attorney who, frankly, has a very high profile is it's not unprecedented, but it's been a long time since we've seen anything quite like this.
Right. In the event that somebody is accused maliciously and falsely, I know this is I'm asking you a question that probably goes against your interest in this particular case, but how would you go about defending yourself? It's very difficult to persuade somebody you didn't do something, right?
Yeah, and that's why the law is actually pretty favorable to elected officials to protect them from harassment or from retribution by unhappy constituents or even unhappy employees. It's why, short of being convicted of a felony, you can't be forced out of office. And that in turn is why someone like Troy Kelly, the state auditor, who is accused of some very serious, very serious crimes outside of his office of auditor, why he hasn't had to resign yet. It's because he hasn't been convicted. And it's why the proper means for voters to address a public official who they're unhappy with or who complaints have been filed with is the recall petition process. So you have to meet stringent requirements for the recall petition. There have to be grounds that a court agrees are sufficient for a recall to go forward. And then having gathered a lot of signatures, you have a vote. So there are lots of checks and balances to protect elected officials, and Mr. Lindquist will benefit from all of those, as well as having plenty of opportunity to respond to the allegations leveled against him.
That's former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. You can hear more from Dave Ross and Colleen O'Brien coming up in our